Great to see Jacob Bryson. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
Good. It's been good to see you in the lineup, and obviously it always feels good coming off a game like your group had the other night. Just put it into context for us what it can mean moving forward here for the guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have a game like that, I think it helps. It's a good stepping stone for hopefully what comes a good stretch. That gives confidence to a lot of players, and it shows that we can score goals, and I feel like guys feel more confident scoring goals. So hopefully that helps us and, gives the guys that extra little edge. Just, pucks are going in the back of the net, and I feel like that's what we've needed in probably the last 5 games, So hopefully that is a good start for what's going to come, a good stretcher.
So I asked that question to pretty much everybody that comes on the set because I want more clarity about certain things, and the word playing direct, playing fast, playing on your toes has always been brought up. But for you, personally, everybody has their own way of describing that. For you, what does that mean when you are playing quick and playing direct? What are the little things in the game that indicates that, Jacob's on his game, he's playing direct because he's doing a certain thing?
I think it's playing simple. I mean, not trying to do too much. I think that's a big thing. Just breaking the puck out and having good gaps and defending well. I think that's a big thing for me. Using my feet and closing plays as quick as I can. I think that helps the forwards and create as many turnovers as possible because I feel like that's where we're really good as transition offense. So the more that myself and us D-core that we can do that, I feel like we help, transition pucks and create a lot more opportunities for our forwards.
So I did a couple of breakdowns last game. One was Ryan Johnson passed to Rasmus Dahlin.
Mm-hmm.
Like the puck was on his stick for like a quarter of a second. Boom. That pass to Benson, right? You get it? It's right gone. And just from my point of view, I think that's when a player like you, a player like RJ, and a player like pretty much anybody on the team is at their best, is when the puck is not sitting on their stick that long. Is that a point of emphasis now that because of last game, the way that it went, that you guys have talked into bringing into tonight's game and more?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we really focus on that, but I think it's, we scored a lot of goals from one-touch passes, and when the opposing team is set in a defensive zone and the puck moves across like that so fast, I feel like it's hard for them to recover. Yeah. And, Ras had so much time on that play, and same with Benny. I feel like they just find themselves open in that area with no one covering them because the puck's already over here, and then it gets over there so fast and buys them a lot of time. So I feel like that quick puck movement is for sure helps us, and I feel like just not forcing a shot and making plays like that is what's going to be our success.
What's it like in the pre-scout between a team like LA and now a team like Florida tonight that is going so well? Mm-hmm. They are, pick a category, they are very, very good. What is that like? Yeah,
I feel like it's kind of a different pregame scout. Obviously, these guys are one of the top teams in the league, and they've been on, a run lately, and especially on the road. So we got a good team coming to the building, and I feel like they play a very hard physical game. So it's going to be a little different, and they pressure more than LA did. So it's definitely different. But I feel like if we just play like we did last game and, do the similar things, I feel like we'll be successful again.
How many teams would fall into that category nowadays, though, of like a hard physical game? Like it's almost, we understand the pace and the physicality of the game, but we don't hear it necessarily describing certain teams. So how rare is it that Florida?
I feel like the game's for sure changed over the years, but I feel like Florida kind of still plays that way. I mean, I feel like they try to run the team out of the building in the first period. I feel like that's what they've done in the past, and this year especially. So I'm sure we got to be ready for that, and if we can weather that storm in the first period, then keep the game close and even get up a goal, I think we'll be in good hands.
Do you watch a lot of hockey? Like, did you turn on the game last night, Florida, and kind of say, we got them tomorrow, might as well? But even if you didn't get them, and the next day, do you watch games whenever it's on TV like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I watch hockey every night, but playoffs, obviously, I watch a lot. Beginning of the season, I like to watch before we play, and then sometimes when the team, last night I did turn the game on. I watched the second and third period. Not to say I'm pre-scouting, but it's nice to kind of just watch and, you kind of know what to expect.
You didn't miss much
day.
In the first period, I'll tell you this. The shots were
0-0,
4-3. Yeah. The expected goals were a quarter to a quarter. It was like the worst first period ever.
Yeah, I know. And they put a lot of goals up the second and third.
Second and third,
yeah, they did. As the Sabres have when you're in the lineup. 6-0, and the team is averaging 5.3 goals per game when you're playing and allowing just 1.8. And obviously, it's hard not to be in the lineup all the time. So how have you navigated this? How have you taken the moments when you're in the lineup to just try to keep that confidence where it needs to be?
Yeah, I feel like, over last year and this year, not playing, being in our lineup, it's obviously tough. But I feel like it's more of the mental side of it, staying positive and being a good teammate when I'm not playing. And, those days where it's obviously tough, not hanging my head low and being a bad teammate. I feel like that's a big thing. And, I feel like guys see that and they respect that. And, you want all your teammates to be like that. So, and then when I do get my chance, I feel like just jumping on that opportunity and just doing what I do best and trying to help the team win.
Whether things are good on the ice and at the rink or whether things are bad on the ice and at the rink, there's always another aspect of things. Going home, having distractions, having, friends and family and all of that. We saw on Instagram there's a new addition to the family coming up here in a few months. The announcement was made yesterday on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we saved it for, a special day. And, we got a little baby girl coming in to this world this summer. So I'm obviously very excited about that. And I feel like you said, you get away from the rink and you can kind of think about other things. So that was obviously a nice little touch. But yeah, for sure.
I'll give you a fun thing about this summer is there's going to be a Summer Olympics, right? So here's the thing. My son was born in 2004. It was the Athens Summer Olympics. Every time we had to get up in the middle of the night for like the 2 o'clock feeding and the 4 a.m. feeding, the Olympics were on live. It was fantastic. I have so many memories of the Athens 2004 Olympics, Summer Olympics, because of that. It was probably the best 2 weeks in the summertime because waking up, there was always something on TV.
So, yeah, that's a good tip, and maybe in 10, 20 years I'll be telling the same story.
Absolutely. That's good. He's 19 now, but that's good, yes.
Hey, you mentioned, just from an individual standpoint, being a good teammate to others. How have you felt it the other way this year? Guys that you've been close with and recognizing, there's been up and down with Rochester and here, and who's been kind of that peer group for you, that close group that's really kind of helped you along?
Yeah, well, I feel like obviously I live with Middlestat, so I'm really good friends with him, and then I hang out with Dylan Cousins a lot too. But when I got sent down, I think I got a text from every guy. So I think it just shows how close our team is, and then when I go to Roch, I knew a lot of the guys already, but they're my close friends too. So I feel like this organization is really close together, and when I go back up to Buff and I play, I get texts from down there too. So it's nice. I mean, everyone's and I would do the same thing for them. So
yeah, I thought it was really noticeable when Eric went down the last time and immediately singled you out as it's almost not believable for him to be down there and seeing you playing there, and it was really cool. I just thought that, and I mean, you've known it because you've seen the Quinns and Paterkas come in, and you've seen the other guys trying to climb that ladder. So you're kind of emphasizing the relationship aspect between Buffalo and Rochester, which has existed pretty well here the last few years.
Yeah, and I would give that credit to Donnie and Apps. I mean, and they both do a great job of creating really good environments in those rooms. So when you go from one to another, the transition is just so easy to play for both coaches.
Well, what have you now with some of those numbers that I mentioned, but just overall coming back in and winning again?
Yeah.
What has it made you believe about your game and what you can continue to bring here moving forward?
Well, I think just look at last game. I mean, I think I can bring that presence, that offensive presence, and help the team win in that aspect. And I feel like being a plus player like that is a big thing. I mean, keeping goals out of your net is probably the most important thing for the decor. I feel like that's a great stat to have when you shut a team out like that. It feels really good. Especially Upi played a great game, but it feels good for the D and the forwards. Just playing a defensive sound game, and I would be fine winning 1-0 as well. But that's a great feeling when you get a shutout like that.
I want to ask about Luukkonen because he seems to be a little bit more comfortable playing the puck. Not that he's, like Marty Brodeur out there. A little bit more towards my type of game where I made some mistakes, but I still played the puck a lot. Is there a lot of communication and being that, you haven't been – I laughed because I said he's been the teammates who've been on the ice with the most this year. But that's also normal, right? But is there communication? Is there conversation? Is there a little mocking at times and how things can turn out as soon as it doesn't end up in the back of the net? How does that work?
I think he's done a pretty good job. He might have had one I can remember that might have ended up in the back of the net, maybe in Arizona or something.
Yes,
right?
That was the one.
Maybe the one.
Game,
yeah, just the one. But I think he's done a great job, and I think that's an aspect that helps us out a lot. When they rim the puck and he's out there to play it, it saves us a lot. Whether that's taking a hit or making the next play, it helps, and it's obviously you would know. it's very beneficial for our team and our game.
Yeah, no, it is good, but it's also kind of a learning thing,
Yeah.
right? Because you think you're doing the right thing, but the defense is expecting something else. There's always needs. Do you guys practice it often? And there used to be a drill where it's a 2-on-1 where they would dump it in,
Yeah.
and you would do the exchange. So you kind of went through the motions, but at least you'd get to
Yeah.
practice it.
We do that sometimes in pregame skate,
Okay.
the little 2-on-1 that you're talking about. But yeah, I feel like the more reps he can get, it probably helps him. And then we obviously have call-outs, so the more we talk to him, I feel like it helps him as well.
Good luck tonight, and obviously our best to you and your growing family.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.